Welcome to AGK's Vinyl Life. I'm your host, Anthony K. And on this episode, I'm going to be doing a follow-up to an episode I filmed just 2 days ago. Today's Monday. I filmed an episode on Saturday, this past Saturday, just 2 days ago. And in that episode, I had shown you things I had found at various flea markets and antique stores around the province of Ontario here that I had discovered on various road trips with my daughter, summer road trips and trips to cottage country over the past month of July. And so it was a collection of all those various things that she and I had found on those road trips to various places. And in that video also, I had visited the last place I had visited, which I took you guys on a little vlog, as they say, as the kids say, the vlogs. I took in a little vlog of the fantastic flea market, and I had done a deep dive in one side of the flea market, but there was a whole other side that I had not had time to deep dive. I'd spent 3.5 hours deep diving the one side, and I had not really deep dived the other side, and said that I got to come back and deep dive that side sometime. So then yesterday, Sunday, I decided to go back with my daughter. My daughter and I decided to take another little summer road trip. This is a beautiful day, just as it's a beautiful day now. And please excuse, you might hear a little bit of wind rustling in the trees occasionally, rustling the leaves of my maple tree here. Hopefully it doesn't drown out the video or my voice or cause a distraction to you viewers. But there might be the occasional little breeze going through the trees. It's a gorgeous August day. And you probably can hear the cicadas sing, and they seem to come up and come down, come up, come down. So I hope that cicadas aren't drowning out my voice either. So please excuse the cicadas, and maybe you might hear an air conditioner come on every once in a while trying to cool my house, and some jets flying overhead, as I'm not too far from the airport as well. So I hope all these sound effects don't add a distraction to my video. If anything, they complement the video and add some special effects to it. So yeah, it's too beautiful to film a video inside today, and I thought I'd change it up and sit here on my back deck with my table with my records next to me and show you guys some records outside on this gorgeous summer day. So as I was saying, I didn't get a chance to deep dive the other half of that flea market. It's not quite as big of a section, so it wouldn't take me too long to deep dive it. And I decided to go back yesterday, Sunday, with my daughter, and we deep dived the other side. She wanted to do some record shopping too, so I deep dived the other side while she poked around, and then we headed off to Niagara on the Lake, which is a small town outside of Niagara Falls. It's not Niagara Falls itself, but it's a small old style town outside of Niagara Falls called Niagara on the Lake, where we found a record store there, and that sold used records and things. And so we did a little deep dive in that. So not only are you going to see a few $2 records from that deep dive, but you're also going to see a pile of records I found at this little record shop in Niagara on the Lake are here. And then I've also got one Record Store Day title that came in after Record Store Day that finally arrived just a few days ago that I had to order from Discogs. So I'll be showing you that. And lastly, I'm going to be showing you guys a stack of new releases, and these new releases that you're going to be seeing are everything from my last new release video that I posted at the end of March. So these are new releases that I picked up between the 1st of April and basically today, and because actually one of the last record I'm going to be showing today arrived this morning in my mail. And so they'll be all new releases I picked up between the 1st of April, so April, May, June, July, and the first week of August. Will be in there as well. That's also in this video, so lots of things to show you guys in this video. It's gonna probably be another long one like my last video. I guess we should get on with it. And right before we do that, I will remind you guys that if you enjoy this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up always make people feel good. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. And for those of you that do subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my videos. I try to post a video like this once a week. And comments welcome down below. As always, I always reply to all my comments. Comments are one of the best ways to make a channel better. And last but not least, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at AGK_lifetime of vinyl, where I try to post my spin of the day every day, among other things. So that's it. That's all the discussion. Let's get on to showing some records, because I know that's what you guys are all waiting for, and maybe you guys have fast forwarded to the to the first record. So here we go. So in this pile here, I went back, like I said, with my daughter yesterday, and I found was it like 5 more titles in the deep dive on the other side. These were all $2 each. They're all in pretty good condition. A couple of them are a little bit, the covers are a little bit worn, but generally they're all very, very good. And the first one I'm going to show you here from those $2, and as you can see, I still got the $2 price stickers on there. So first one I'm going to show you here is by a band called FM, and this is their Contest album. Now, I've shown FM before. FM are a Toronto Canadian band that recorded with originally with the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which I'm actually wearing a CBC, Radio Canada CBC anniversary hat, which I found this hat in Niagara-on-the-Lake yesterday. I found this hat in a hat store. It's a hat store that specialized in all styles of hats from all over the world, and I found this beautiful CBC Radio Canada hat, and I even got my hair done. I got my hair cut, guys. I got my hair cut this morning. First thing before I filmed this video, I finally went out and got my 1.5 years of pandemic hair chopped off. So there you go. But I found this hat, CBC hat, and this band here, FM, had recorded originally their first couple albums were recorded with, sponsored by the CBC. FM were a trio of musicians, one of them being Nash Slash on electric mandolin and violin. And he recorded with them on their famous Black Noise album and on their direct-to-disc album. And the direct-to-disc album was actually recorded with no tapes. The reason they called the album direct-to-disc is because it was recorded direct-to-disc. And what that means is that when they went into the studios, it was not recorded onto tape, it was recorded right onto the lacquers. And that album it's pretty hard to find. You occasionally see a copy pop up here and there. It's an okay album, but of course their big success would come with Black Noise, which was a huge hit here in Canada and has over the years, over the last 40 years, gained notoriety all over the world. Black Noise, their second album. Their third album was Surveillance, where Nash Slash had left the band to pursue some solo projects, one of them being the one I just showed you in my last video. And they would replace him with Ben Mink, I think it was, on the electric mandolins and violins and so on. Ben Mink would record 2 albums with them. Their third album, of course, being Surveillance after Black Noise, and then their fourth album, City of Fear, which did not do well at all. It wasn't a very good album. But then Nash Slash rejoined FM, and this is their 5th album called Contest, where Nash Slash has returned to the lineup. And of course, we have the lineup of Nash Slash, Cameron Hawkins, and Martin Deller. And this is a great spin. Nash Slash returns, and I think not knocking Ben Mink. I think he was great on Surveillance. City of Fear was not good. But Nash Slash being involved in the songwriting and whatnot and the playing just added that missing touch to the album. This is their 5th album, Contest, which would be followed up a couple years later by Tonight, which I really love, Tonight. And this one I believe was from 1985, I'm guessing. 1985, what a good guess. Contest from FM. Now the next one I found in the $2 bins, which I didn't have, and I always loved this album. I used to have this album on cassette tape a long time ago. And this copy is absolutely mint. And it is Whitney Houston's debut album. That's right, Whitney Houston's debut album. I love this album. I had it on cassette tape. I always loved this album. And look at this copy. This copy is absolutely mint. It's gorgeous and only $2. And the vinyl's gorgeous on it. On Arista Records, Whitney Houston, her debut, a really great spin. I think anybody should really have this one in their collection. I think it's a must-have. It had the fabulous Greatest Love of All and Saving All My Love for You. So there we go, Whitney Houston, debut album, $2. What a great pickup. And the cicadas are singing. So please excuse those cicadas. Hope you can hear me all okay. The wind has died down in the trees. I think we're good there. The air conditioner's running. Hope you don't hear that. The cicadas are chirping like crazy though. So we'll just carry on even though the cicadas are singing along here. Next up in the $2 finds is Joe Jackson and his debut album, Look Sharp. My favorite Joe Jackson album, there's two albums actually that I absolutely love by Joe Jackson. His I'm the Man album, what a brilliant album. And his Jump and Jive, his jazz album. I absolutely love Jump and Jive and I'm the Man. But this was his debut. This is Look Sharp, his debut album, and it's a great spin. I'm the Man was the follow-up to this. But this one's a classic too, with One More Time, Sunday Papers, Is She Really Going Out With Him? Another big song, Look Sharp, Fools in Love, Got the Time, Pretty Girls, so many great songs on this album. So Joe Jackson, Look Sharp. And I think this was 1977, 78, 77, 1979. I was close. Look Sharp, Joe Jackson, $2. The next album I got from the $2 piles there at the flea market. And we'll just stand those up. The next album I got at the flea market, this one was marked at $5 in the $2 bins, but when I got to the cash register, he said that it was only $2. Even though it was marked at $5, he gave it to me for $2 as well. Howard Jones, Human Lib. I believe this is from mid-80s. I'm going to guess 85, 84, 83. I'm close. Howard Jones, Human Lib. I used to have this album on cassette as well back in the day. Human Lib by Howard Jones, and of course it's got the original inners and everything. A really great copy. I'd put this at a VG++. Really great copy. And this particular album was best known for Hide and Seek and New Song, Humans Lib, It's Conditioning, What Is Love, I think was the big single, was What Is Love. But Howard Jones, Humans Lib, which I got for $2 as well. It's a really great example of some great 80s music. Howard Jones, Humans Lib, also $2. Next up, an album I needed to get back in my collection, and I haven't seen this one anywhere. The cover's a little bit worn on the edges, but the vinyl is beautiful. I believe it's got the original inner. It does have the original inners in it, and the cover's a little bit worn. I guess that's why you put it down for $2. But the vinyl's gorgeous. It is Aldo Nova from Montreal, Canada. Aldo Nova. And his debut album, and this album is a must-have. And if you're for Canadian listeners, yeah, you got to have this album. This is a must-have Canadian rock album. I highly recommend this to anybody else in the world if you can find it. It is a fantastic. Aldo Nova was an absolute guitar master, such a great guitar player, and this debut album has such fantastic songs as Fantasy, Hot Love, Heart to Heart was a huge single here. Fooling Yourself, Under the Gun. See the Light I absolutely loved. This is a 10 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned of rock albums from Canada. Aldo Nova and his self-titled debut album. Aldo Nova would appear later on the Revolution by Night album by Blue Oyster Cult. He would guest star on that album doing the song Take Me Away. Yeah, Aldo Nova, debut album, $2. Another great find. And the last great find from that flea market in the deep dive. So I've kind of completed deep diving that flea market. I won't be going back there for a couple months until they kind of get a lot of new stuff in. I've kind of done everything in that flea market for a while, but I will go back in a couple months and visit it again and deep dive it all over again. But the last one from that, another Canadian band, and this is a beautiful copy. Only $2, as you can see, only $2. Strange Advance, and this is Strange Advance 2. This is their second album. I have their first album. Strange Advance and Strange Advance 2 were absolutely fantastic. Another mid-80s band from Canada. I'm guessing 83, 84. I don't see the date on this one, sorry, but I can't remember exactly when this album came out. but they were very orchestral maneuvers in the darky, if we're gonna try to compare them. Their debut album I absolutely love, Worlds Away, one of my favorite all-time Canadian 80s rock songs, Worlds Away, and this one had a huge single on it as well in We Run, was a big smash hit here in Canada. So I think this is a must-have. The two Strange Advance albums, 1 and 2, absolute must-haves. Brilliant album, beautiful copy. Picked it up for only $2 once again, and it's got the original inner as well. I don't know why it's cut off here at the edge, but apparently it is. But the vinyl's in great shape. Strange Advance 2. And that was the last of the $2 digging at the flea market. And after that, I'll show you the things I picked up yesterday with my daughter in Niagara-on-the-Lake at the little antique record store. It was a little store that had, wasn't really a record store, but it had a huge record section. It was a little antique and collectible store in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Had a massive record section, and they also had things like little metal signs that they sold, hats, you know, some souvenir stuff, typical souvenir stuff. And they had a really cool section on metal signs, you know, those classic old metal signs like Coca-Cola signs and all that. And all their used vinyl was $5 each. Each album was $5 or 3 for $10. So I got a bunch of things here. I think it was 7. Did I buy 7 that day? 7? I think it was 7. Yeah, I bought 7, so I got, you know, 2 batches of 3 for $10, and then one I paid $5 for or something like that. But we bought some other things in the store. I got this gorgeous metal sign that I'm hanging in my basement in my man cave of a guitar that I really liked. But let's get on with it. So all of these ones here, these were, like I said, 3 for $10, and they're all in gorgeous condition. They really are. And the first one I'm going to show you, one I needed to get into my library again, Rick Wakeman, Journey to the Center of the Earth, an original Canadian first press in absolutely gorgeous condition. I mean, this cover is beautiful. You know, a slight ring wear, but hardly noticeable on the back edges. It's got the gorgeous gatefold in it, and of course inside this album is a record on A&M Records, and it even came with the original booklet. Is still in here too, in beautiful condition. The original booklet in great condition. So that was a really nice treat to get a copy of Journey to the Center of the Earth by Rick Wakeman back on vinyl. Only $5 or 3 for $10, whatever you want to call it. So I guess this was what, $3.33, something like that. But a beautiful copy. Glad to have this one back in the collection. Rick Wakeman, Journey to the Center of the Earth. The next one I got there, also Rick Wakeman. They were next to each other. I needed to get both of these ones back in my collection. And another one, and this one also in really gorgeous condition. And this is, of course, the Myths and Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Another fantastic Rick Wakeman album. And with Arthur, Lady of the Lake, Guinevere, Sir Lancelot and the Black Knight, Merlin the Magician, Sir Galahad, The Last Battle. Probably Journey to the Center of the Earth and this one are probably, for me, the best 2 Rick Wakeman albums he made. And this one, look at this cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, 3 for $10. And it too has the original booklet in it. The original booklet is in here as well. Gorgeous inner cover, and also, of course, on A&M Records. First Canadian press with the beautiful booklet as well included in just gorgeous condition. So that cost me all of like $3 again, $3.33. And the next one I got at that store, Ringo Starr, Blast from Your Past. You know, I'm not a big Beatles fan. I'm not a big solo members of the Beatles fan. But, you know, I did get John Lennon's Give Me Some Truth. So, you know, I do like their hits by all the various members. I was a big Wings fan. I did love Wings. I was never a big Beatles fan. Beatles had broken up just before I got into music. Though I do have some Beatles and I enjoy them. I rarely listen to them. I did love Wings. I grew up on Wings. And John Lennon, I didn't listen too much, but I did get the Give Me Some Truth from last year, just to have like a best of John Lennon. And then when I saw this one in the store yesterday, it was like, yeah, you know, might as well grab this. It's Blast From Your Past by Ringo Starr. It's basically his greatest hits album from, I believe, late 70s, something like that. 1975, mid 70s. And it's got pretty much, I think, all the best things from him. You're 16 was a big single here. Photograph, which I always loved. Photograph is a big single. Back Off Boogaloo, Only You and You Alone, Oh My My. So, you know, a great little best of, and this probably gives me all I would ever want from Ringo Starr. So Ringo Starr and Blast From Your Past. Also in the $5 records, $3.33 at checkout. And then continuing on with the ones I found at that store, they had some great stuff there. Something else I needed to get back in my collection that I thought I already had put back in my collection. And then when I checked my Discogs, when I was in the store there and quickly brought up my Discogs, I realized I didn't have it. And this was one of the best copies I've seen. Normally this album is, wherever you go, it's pretty trashed. So this one's not bad. Slight ring wear on it, but nothing too bad. The vinyl is in gorgeous condition. Absolutely gorgeous condition. And it is Boston and their second album, Don't Look Back. I love this album maybe more than their classic first album. There was something about Don't Look Back I really, really liked. The song Don't Look Back was fantastic. The Journey, It Is Easy. A Man I'll Never Be. Oh, what a great song. Party, Feeling Satisfied. This and their first album, you know, their first album is legendary, but this one I think is legendary too. Boston, Don't Look Back. A grand total of $3.33 for that one. Next up, one to fill in a hole in my Psychedelic Furs collection. I'm a big Psychedelic Furs fan. This one I used to have on cassette, so I never had it on vinyl. And this is a nice, gorgeous, once again, first Canadian press on vinyl. Psychedelic Furs, Forever Now, with the classic Forever Now, and Love My Way was a massive single. So happy, and President Gas, another great song. No Easy Street. Psychedelic Furs, Forever Now. Also $3.33, and in pretty darn good condition. And then the last two that I picked up at that store yesterday, this one on the cover is not too bad, it's acceptable. I have this album on cassette tape, on a pre-recorded cassette tape. Never had it on vinyl. I always really liked this album, though a lot of hardcore Foreigner fans weren't a big fan of this album. They thought it was a little bit too poppy and too much of a sellout, and not as hard rocking as their earlier albums. But I absolutely love this album. Foreigner, Agent Provocateur. I think I can pronounce this. Foreigner, Agent Provocateur. Yeah, you can read it. I can't tongue-tied here. But a great album. I love this album. Of course, it had on it the big smash singles on here, of course, were That Was Yesterday and I Want to Know What Love Is. Yes, I know. But I love this album. I do. I love this album. I want to know what love is, too. So, Foreigner, Agent Provocateur, a big $3. And last but not least, from that store, I finally found a copy of this album. I have this album on CD. Always wanted it on vinyl, and I never see it anywhere. It's really hard to find. Finally found it. Fine Young Cannibals, Raw and the Cooked. That's right, Fine Young Cannibals, the Raw and the Cooked. Love this album. I think this is late 80s. Yep, 1988 this album came out, and I love this album beginning to end. The big singles on here, of course, were She Drives Me Crazy and Good Thing. And I think there was one other one on here. Don't Look Back. Yeah, Don't Look Back was also a big single. But what a fantastic album. I put a 10 out of 10 for me. These guys made one fantastic album in this one. FYC, Fine Young Cannibals, and The Raw and The Cooked. And those are all the things I got in Niagara on the Lake. And now we're going to move on, last but not least, to new releases from And these are things I picked up over, like I said, over the last 4 months, April, May, June, July, and the first week of August here. And the first ones I'm going to show you is a record store day one, actually. We'll get that one out of the way first. This is a record store day album. In my record store video from not too long ago, from the July drop, I had said in that video that I had got everything I wanted except one album, and that was the Tattoo 200 kilometers per hour in the Wrong Lane album, which did not show up at my record store and the other record store, PVC, that I'd gone to. I only got 2 copies and they were gone like that. Funny story on this one was that I immediately went online, because that was the only one I never got on the record store that I really wanted. I immediately went on Discogs and eBay to find copies of it and grab them before they sold out. And the first one I put in my cart, was at retail price, 30 some odd dollars. Put it in the cart, and by the time I went to check out, it was sold out. So when I went to check out, it just said, sorry, it's been removed from your cart, it's already sold. So I searched up again, found another one, also at retail price, 30 some odd dollars. Put it in the cart, same thing happened again. I went to check out, sorry, it's been removed from your cart, somebody else has already bought it. So it was like, oh God, here we go again. Found a third copy, also, I think it was a little bit higher than the other two. It was in the late 30s. I think it was like 39 or something. The other ones were like 35. Found it at 39, checked out, got it. Thank goodness. Because now when you look on Discogs or eBay, they all go for well over $150 to $200 now for this album. So really happy to have the record store day release of Tattoo, 200 kilometers per hour in the long rain, with the big singles, Not Gonna Get Us and All the Things She Said. These two girls caused quite a stir when this album came out in, I think it was around 2000 when this album 2001 when this album originally came out. These girls caused quite a stir. They were the first Russian pop stars to ever release something outside of Russia. So a little bit of history there is that they set history of being the first Russian pop stars to be allowed to release music outside of Russia. And there was rumors that they were a lesbian lover couple and whatnot and whatnot. But I think that was all publicity stunt, that they were lesbian lovers. But 200 kilometers in the Wrong Lane, fabulous album with songs that were produced on it by Trevor Horn. That's right, Trevor Horn, who of course produced ABC, appeared on Yes's Drama album. Trevor Horn would produce some of the songs on this album, and this is on a gorgeous Coke bottle colored vinyl. Really happy to scored a copy of this record store day release. Tattoo, 200 kilometers an hour in the Wrong Lane. So now we're going to get into the new releases, and we're going to go back, and these actually are in alphabetical order. So all of these things, like I said, dropped between the 1st of April and this morning, because the last one I'm going to show you arrived this morning in my mail. Before that, I'm just going to have a little sip here. And the first one I'm going to show you here is Selena Gomez, Revelación. That's right, Selena Gomez, Revelación. Let's just pull it out of there in case I'm getting glare from the light out here. This is Revelación, her latest effort. This is, I guess you would call it a mini album, an EP that she released in March of this year. It came out on vinyl in June of this year, last month, or month before last. Came out late June on vinyl, and and of course I love Selena Gomez. My daughter loves Selena Gomez, hence why I listen to Selena. She's a great songwriter. She's grown up to be a fabulous songwriter and singer. And this Revelación album, of course, is all sung in Spanish. This is her Spanish language album that she decided to do. And I believe it's 8 tracks on this album. If I'm not mistaken, it was 7 tracks, sorry. 7 tracks on this album, a 7-track mini album, all sung in Spanish. But there's also appearing on this album is Alejandro and DJ Snake appear on this album as well. Great spin, great EP, Revelación. Selena Gomez. Next up, this one dropped in April, and happy to have it. and it's a great spin. I know these guys, a lot of members of the vinyl community, older members of the vinyl community that are not open-minded. A lot of people call these guys a Led Zeppelin ripoff. I do not in one tiny bit call them that. These guys are brilliant. They are the future of, they are one of the many bands that are the future of rock and roll. I really love these guys. It's Greta Van Fleet, and this is their latest effort called The Battle at Garden's Gate, and a gorgeous cover. It's like a leather finish on here with embossed gold. This is a spectacular spin. 2 record set, spectacular spectacular spin. 2 record set, spectacular spin. The Battle at Garden's Gate, brand new Greta Van Fleet. And I think the first big single off here was Heat Above, but this is a great spin. Next up is an album that dropped at the beginning of April as well. I think the second week of April this one came out, and of course I got this on CD when it dropped in November, originally released in November. So I picked it up on CD in November, and as people know, I'm also a big Ariana Grande fan. Also discovered, not really through my daughter, because I actually had bought an Ariana Grande's, I think it was My Everything album on its own. I was a big fan of a couple of songs on that, and so I actually was listening to that album before my daughter got into Ariana Grande. But she, of course, she's a huge fan, and I've seen this woman live in concert, and she's amazing. She's got a gorgeous voice, absolutely spectacular, and I've followed her ever since. And this is her Positions album, finally dropped on vinyl. I pre-ordered this from the Ariana Grande website, and it's on it's also on a Coke bottle, just like the tattoo. It's also on a Coke bottle. I call this Coke bottle colored vinyl. This is Positions, a great spin from Ariana Grande. And this one, like I said, ordered from her website, and it came in around the middle of April. Positions, Ariana. Next up is an album by a man called by the name of Magnus Carlsson, and this is Heart Healer, the metal opera by Magnus Carlsson, a European artist. And this is symphonic metal, and this is a really freaking amazing spin for you symphonic metal fans. This is spectacular. I highly recommend it. Heart Healer, the metal opera by Magnus Carlsson. And what makes this album so special is he has guest singers on the album. All these ladies are from other symphonic metal bands in Europe. Famous singers from other symphonic metal bands that all collaborated, and he brought in to play the various parts of this metal opera and to sing the songs of this metal opera. And some of them are duets, some of them are solo. They play the characters of this metal opera, and you've got such great metal opera stars as Adrian Cowan. Magnus Carlsson is, of course, right here. This is Magnus Carlsson, guitar player, keyboard player, brilliant songwriter. So you've got Adrian Cowan, Aileen Jimenez, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Annette Olsen, Margarita Monet, Netta Lorraine, Nora Luimo, and Yumina Dressati. I hope I'm pronouncing those names right. But absolutely gorgeous voices, a fantastic spin on double vinyl. Magnus Carlsson, Heart Healer, the metal opera. Some fantastic symphonic metal. And next up, this one came out right at the very end of April, I believe, or May. No, this one came out in May. Sorry, my mistake. This one came out in the middle of May, and I've got one other album by this young lady. She's a pop, I guess basically dance pop artist. She released an album a few years ago that I really enjoyed, and I saw this one coming out, and because I enjoyed her first album so much, I grabbed this one. This is Zara Larsson and Poster Girl. Zara Larsson, Poster Girl, and I think this was on a white vinyl. Yes, this was on a white vinyl. and came with a lyric sheet poster thing. Yeah, lyric sheet and poster. I mean, the name of the album is Poster Girl, so I guess you've got to have a poster in there if the name of the album is Poster Girl. So Zara Larsson, Poster Girl, great pop, just good old-fashioned pop, synth pop, dance pop, whatever you want to call it. Great pop album. Zara Larsson, Poster Girl. Then also in May, this dropped in May. People know me for enjoying this artist a lot. And this artist's album was #1 for me last year. And this album keeps coming back for more. It was my favorite album of last year. I'm talking about Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia. My #1 choice for last year. Best album of the year as far as I was concerned. Then earlier in this year, I think in my last video of new releases, dropped her Club Future Nostalgia, which was the dance remixes of that album, extended and dance remixes of that album. And then, of course, in May of this year, she dropped yet the third iteration of that album, called Future Nostalgia, the Moonlight Edition. And she could have released this as an EP, or a mini album or an EP, but that's not what artists do these days. Back in the 70s, 80s, artists would have just released an EP or a mini album. But it seems to be the trend with artists these days is they'll release an album, then they'll release an album a year later, the same album over again, add some more tracks, and call it a whatever edition, which is what she's done. And she did this with her first album, Dua Lipa's debut album. She released a single disc version, then she released a 3-disc version, which had another dozen tracks on it. And she's done the same thing here. So not only do you get the original Future Nostalgia album, which I already had, but it's the only way to get it, but you get a second LP of all new songs, and I think there's a couple remixes, but there's a brand new pile of songs on here, like That Kind of Woman, Not My Problem featuring Jid, and Fever, We're Good was a big single, the Miley Cyrus Dua Lipa collaboration, Prisoner, and another song, If It Ain't Me. So this is it's a companion to Future Nostalgia, though you do get the Future Nostalgia album in here. They could have released it as an EP, but that's just what these artists do now. So Dua Lipa, I love it anyhow. I love the Future Nostalgia album, so obviously I wanted to get all iterations of the album, and just the extra material is definitely worth the price of the album alone. Dua Lipa, Future Nostalgia, the Moonlight Edition. Next up, this one dropped at the beginning of July. This came out at the beginning of July, and I was really, really pleasantly surprised by this album. I actually bought this album after hearing reviews by a few of my favorite people in the vinyl community. Naz Nomad told me this album was great. Melinda Murphy told me this album was great. Or, told the world this album was great. And another friend of mine, Robert, from On My Turntable, also showed this album and liked it. And after a few reviews I had read and hearing other people like it, I decided to grab it. It is Styx, Crash of the Crown. Their brand new studio album by Styx, and this is really great proggy classic Styx. A really, really freaking excellent spin. Styx, Crash of the Crown by Styx. I'm a big Styx fan. I really enjoy the early Styx stuff, and of course Grand Illusion, Equinox, Pieces of Eight, Paradise Theater, they're all favorites of mine. So I took a chance on this one, and I'm not sorry. Crash of the Crown by Styx, fantastic. Next up, this one dropped at the very end of April, I'm thinking, or beginning of May, and I took a chance on it. I heard a lot about it. And I bought what's called, there were 3 different versions of the album: the extended version, the abridged version, and the complete version, or something like that. But on vinyl there was the extended version and the abridged version. So I bought the extended version. This is a super group made up of people like Neil Morris, Mike Portnoy from, of course, Dream Theater, Ronnie Scott, and Pete Tavares. They are a super group called Transatlantic. and this is the Absolute Universe Forevermore, the extended version, and this is spectacular. Spectacular. It is prog. This is modern prog metal, prog metal prog. But I look at it as just straight up prog. It is a really a great spin. I put this up as one of the best albums of the year. It comes in this gorgeous slipcover. It even comes with the music on CDs, not digital download. There are 4 discs to this great thing. It is a real masterpiece. Is it 4 discs or 3 discs? No, I guess it's 3 discs. My mistake. 3 discs. Let me just pull them out here. 3 discs to this one. This is the 3rd disc. And of course there's a book in there with all the lyrics and everything. Somewhere in here there's a book. And like I said, it also comes with a 2 CD edition. There is a book in here somewhere. Is there a book? Yeah, there's a book in here as well. A book with all the lyrics and things. As well, in there. Transatlantic, the Absolute Universe. A really spectacular spin. I highly recommend this album. I was really surprised, and I had never bought anything by Transatlantic before, but I heard so many good things about this album. I took a chance on it, and I am so glad I did. It is spectacular, and now I might go back and investigate one day some of their earlier works. Transatlantic, the Absolute Universe. We're almost through here, guys, almost through. Next up is this album dropped in late May. Right at the end of May, this album came out, and I enjoyed her first album a lot. Her first album came out quite a few years ago, like 4 years ago, her first album. She's a Latin artist, and her name is Hiatus, and this is the deluxe version of Sin Miedo. Sin Miedo, Hiatus, Sin Miedo. Most of these songs, the songs are sung in sort of Spanish and English, but this I highly recommend. This woman has a great voice, a great sound, and if you've seen other people talking about this album, they'll all say the same thing. It is absolutely a fantastic spin. What a great sultry, you know, there's Amy Winehouse in here, there's Diana Krall, and there's jazz in here, there's Latin pop in here, there's hip hop, R&B, it is just an amazing freaking spin. Absolutely amazing spin. Hiatus, she's a lady to watch out for. This album is a breakout for her compared to her first album from a few years ago. Highly recommend. And then the last few that I'm going to show you here. Now this album actually dropped, I think last year, or I know earlier this year or last year. And I never got it, but after hearing a number of tracks on it, I finally decided to get this. So even though this isn't super new, it's still a new release within the last year, and it was up for a number of Grammys this year. I think it did win some Grammys. It is The Weeknd, and this is my first album by The Weeknd on vinyl. I never thought I'd buy an album by The Weeknd on vinyl. I actually dated a girl that knew The Weeknd. We won't talk about that. But yeah, I dated somebody that actually knew The Weeknd very well, briefly, quite a while ago. And this is After Hours, the deluxe edition of After Hours by The Weeknd, and I gotta admit, a great album, a really great album. After Hours by The Weeknd with the massive singles on here, Blinding Lights, and the song that really finally got me to buy this album was Save Your Tears. Really love that song, Save Your Tears. And of course there's been a remix released of Save Your Tears with Ariana Grande adding an additional verse to it. So fantastic album, The Weeknd, After Hours. And the last couple I'm going to show you here, these ones I picked up. I picked up these two on Friday at PVC Records, and I haven't had a chance to spin these either. These last three I haven't had a chance to spin because they're brand new. I haven't had a chance to spin them yet. The first one is Mammoth by Wolfgang Van Halen. People have been talking about this album all over the place in the vinyl community. I grabbed a copy of it when I saw it. This is the indie store exclusive, the indie retail exclusive on Black Ice vinyl, the debut album from Wolfgang Van Halen, and we all know who he is. So I'm excited to hear this. I haven't had a chance to spin it yet. I just got it a couple days ago. I'm looking forward to spinning this. Wolfgang Van Halen and Mammoth. And next up, also I picked up a couple days ago and haven't opened it yet. And this is brand new from Canadian metal goddess Lee Aaron, and it's Radio On. And of course, Lee Aaron's Metal Queen album dropped on the last Record Store Day drop. Her Metal Queen album came out this year on Record Store Day, the classic 80s metal album. Of course, Lee Aaron right here from Toronto, and a metal girl, metal rocker, and she's back with a brand new rockin' album. And I've sampled a couple songs on YouTube from this album. I'm really looking forward to spinning this, and I think this is on a white vinyl or something. Yeah, white vinyl, limited edition, Canadian vocalist, and it's melodic rock at its best. So I'm looking forward to hearing this. Songs on this are Vampin', Soulbreaker, Come On, Mama Don't Remember, Radio On, Soho Crawl, among a whole pile of songs on here. Looking forward to spinning this. Brand new Lee Aaron. She looks just amazing still, and I think it's going to be a great spin. Lee Aaron, Radio On. And last but not least in the video, finally you guys are probably like sick and tired of listening to me talk, but you know, there's fast forward, there's come back and watch it a later day, and whatever. I hope you enjoyed all of this. But last up, this just arrived this morning, and this is the album that is selling like crazy. This is one of the most successful vinyl drops in its first week. Has I think it was Thriller, they said, but definitely this is the most successful vinyl drop in the last, I think it's 30 some odd years. In the first week, this has sold more copies on vinyl than anything else. It's almost matched, I believe it was Thriller. I'd have to double check the news on that. But this album is selling like hotcakes. I grabbed a copy because I do like this lady. And this is the Urban Outfitters exclusive edition. Just arrived this morning in my mail. I think it's on a brown vinyl. The Urban Outfitters exclusive 2LP edition of This Is Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish's brand new album. It's selling like crazy, and it's got good reviews. I'm looking forward to spinning this and seeing how it is. Urban Outfitters exclusive edition, which was apparently made in France. So I don't know what the pressing company that pressed this was, from France. Looking forward to spinning it. Happier than ever. Maybe this will be one of my intro screen moments. I don't know. Happier than ever, Billie Eilish. That's it. That's all. New releases from April through to today, which is I believe the 9th of August, and as well as some flea market finds and thrift store finds. I know it's been a long video, but I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all real soon in my next video. And as I always say, rock and roll.